What cheer, y'all? Welcome back to Right at the Wire. Well, we've got Arkansas Derby Day at Oaklawn, which means there's an Oaks prep as well. The Fantasy Stakes. It's a Grade 1, 12th race on the card, run at a mile and a 16th for the 3-year-old fillies. And you look at this field, and I think it's a pretty good one. You've got Quietside, who just won the Honeybee, and Necessity, who finished fourth in that race. Simply Joking, who won the Silver Bullet Day over at Fairgrounds, now coming back off of freshening. Take Charge Milady, who had a rather dubious honeybee to say the least, but is now coming back and should be able to rebound. Brad Cox has got California Sunset. And you've got Princess Aaliyah for the coach, of course. If there's a prep race, got to have the coach in it. And then Steve Asmussen's got running and gun at number 10. So full field at 10. You look at this field and Princess Aaliyah is really the only one who's listed as a front runner, but I would tend to believe Simply Joking will likely be on the lead. That's the way she won the Silver Bullet Day, and you do have a similar type of makeup while the field is bigger. But Princess Aaliyah is one of, I think there's 3 horses in this race, all of which have been improved since switching to Lasix. Princess Aaliyah's had the last 3 starts were on Lasix. She's a big-time purchase. Was kind of foundering, not doing terribly well, but has improved her speed numbers considerably since switching to Lasix for the last 3. So now coming back off of it again, I'd have to believe that will impact her negatively. And she's kind of one, just kind of goes all out, seemingly, with the way she runs. They have her open reined when they ride her. And I don't see her as being a really good fit here, and I'm going to let her go. Take Charge, Milady. You couldn't have asked for a worse honeybee. I mean, she just was terrible in the race, and I don't think they pressed the issue after a little while when it was pretty... It seemed pretty assured that it was hopeless. So let's just draw a line through that. If we go back to the form prior to that race, she's a very good fit here. She should be rating just off the leaders, and I think she should rebound. Probably would need another move forward to be speed figure wise, but I don't see why that's not possible. And you just get the vibe for this race because it's Kenny McPeak who trains her. This is the kind of race that he wins. And it's just because when you least expect it, this is when it happens. And so, aside from that angle, I do think Take Charge Milady is a good fit here. I do wonder if they may all let Simply Joking get away. That's really the feeling I have more than anything else. But I think Take Charge Milady is certainly a win candidate and one that you can use. California Sunset for Brad Cox is another one who's been on Lasix for 3 straight starts. And this one just doesn't like to win, really, more than anything else. And when I see a Brad Cox horse who's been gingerly brought along, not being put into stakes races, staying at the allowance level, it means that he's still developing the product. But you couple that with the fact that this one has kicked away a lot of races that I've seen, and now taking Lasix off after running with it for 3 straight starts, I don't want any part of her, so I'll toss California Sunset. Now, Quietside finally got over the hump in the Honeybee last time, and I thought that was a very nice win. To beat Mohima and, really game effort from 5G, and Quietside was able to get the job done for a career-high Brisnet figure. Here's something I noticed about when you look at her running lines from the Brisnet perspective. She, for the last 4, and these are all races at the stakes level, where moving up, where the class is tougher. I want to stress that. She has a really good race, like an 89 Brisnet number, and then the next one she follows up with an 80. Then she'll have an 88, follows it up with an 80. Just ran her career high 94. It seems to be a pattern where she doesn't quite have the kick to get over the top. And it's And the race that, for instance, that Take Charge Milady beat her was one of those off races a couple back. So if you follow that pattern, she's ready for a letdown. And, I think it's just one of those things that, every other race, she's getting into that pattern. She's still finished in the money in a couple of them, but the point being, I don't expect that she'll be at her optimum for this race. I think she could still factor in this race. I think she could still probably get the money. This once you get past, let's say, the top four, this field is pretty thin, in my opinion. So you can still use her, but when I look at that pattern, I can't put her on top to win. I think, yeah, she got over the hump last time, but I think she's going to be due for a little bit of regression here. Not appreciable. I think she could still finish in the money, but I'm not going to take her on top for that reason. Simply Joking is my pick to win because who's going to stop her on the front end? I don't see Princess Aaliyah putting enough pressure on Simply Joking to affect things terribly much, and I just think she's going to get on the lead, and I think, we're thinking Take Charge Milady's going to rebound, and I think she will, but really any of the ones that would be considered ones that could really put significant pressure on her, I don't think are going to be close enough, and that consequently, I think Simply Joking's just going to be on the lead all to herself, and it's going to get awful bold, and she's going to be very tough to run down. So she's firing fresh, and, if she can build off of what she did in the Silver Bullet Day, they're all playing for second. And it just looks to me, race shape-wise, if she gets the lead, and I think she probably will, she's going to be awful tough to beat. So Simply Joking is my pick to win this race. Now, Baytown Butterfly is an easy throw out, not nearly good enough. Can't even believe she's in the race. Kinsey Queen is another one that maybe some have thought about, but this is another one who's run on 3 straight races with Lasix and is now coming off. I haven't seen enough. She seems to be improving with Lasix, and now you take it. That's enough for me to kick her loose. Although I will say that, pedigree is good for a mile and a 16th being by McKinsey, but that's it. Princess M, not good enough either, and easy toss. Now, Necessity is very interesting to me for a couple reasons. First of all, this is a horse, I really liked her maiden effort. I really did. I thought it was beat Princess Aaliyah and really looked like a horse on the come. If you consider her next start was in the Honeybee in a stakes race off of a maiden win, and I thought she got a good fourth. She was a little one-paced. That's entirely true. But, if you look at this field, if she just keeps running, that's going to put her in the money. And, and mainly because Quietside, I think, is going to regress a little bit. And if Take Charge Milady doesn't necessarily progress, then you got Necessity, who should be right there. And if she keeps running and there's Simply Joking falters, she can steal it. But I think Necessity's got more to offer, and I really like her at 10-1 in this spot. I think she's a definite use, probably more for under, but I think is one you should certainly use. Now, I've thrown in Running and Gunning here for one reason, is just, as I mentioned, you've got a few horses in here who, coming off Lasix, I think is going to impact negatively. Running and Gunning doesn't have that problem. She beat an extremely mediocre field in the Sunland Oaks, came from the clouds to do it, and, sure, speed figures don't match up anywhere near what would be necessary to win this. Moreover, probably not going to have a pace scenario to make it even likely. However, she's going to keep running, doesn't need Lasix. Steve Asmussen, likely to improve, and you get Flavian Pratt for good measure, even though, that alone is going to hurt our odds a little bit. I think Flavian just just picked up the mount. He's certainly not in Arkansas to ride on Running and Gunning. But it's enough for me to throw run and gun in the mix for underneath and underneath only. Try or the super. So we look at our wagering strategy. I'm going with simply joking to win, but I'm going to throw a value bet on necessity. I think it's worth it. And again, I think, the Kenny McPeaks are a little unpredictable. If Take Charge Milady doesn't rebound and Quietside regresses like we think we are, then you got necessity right there as a good option. So simply joking is the pick to win, but necessity, the value play. So then exactas will go 7-6, 6-7, 7-1 with 7-5. And again, the Quietside one, I think she's probably going to run more like third, but who knows? We'll throw it in there. So for the trifecta, we're going to go 7-1 with 1-5-6, with 1-5-6 and 10. We'll throw running and gunning on the bottom there. Then we'll do 6-7, 6-7 with 1-5-10. Then 6-7 with 1-5-10 with 6-7. The 10 is negotiable. You could throw that horse. If she finishes second, I will be stunned. But just for continuity, threw it in there. But you could go 6-7, 1-5 with 6-7, and that would make more sense to me. It's a top heavy race. I think our options are pretty limited, and if you don't like simply, to me, it's like it's the 1, the 6, and the 7 are the 3 primary keys. And again, I really like what the 6 is doing, but I just got a sense that Take Charge Milady's going to rebound after a nondescript Honeybee. So simply joking to win in the fantasy stakes. Hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. I wish you the best of luck as always. And certainly if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. And again, thanks so much to all of our newcomers and all of those of you who have been along the way, all with us all along. We really appreciate it. Love the fact we're continuing to grow. Love the dialogue. I love the comments. You guys have really stepped up with that, and I really appreciate it. I love hearing from you. And you've got a lot of you don't necessarily agree with me, and that's okay. You've had some interesting slants and some good things to think about. That enriches all of us, and that's the point. So keep it up. Thanks so much for that. We will have probably a full card selections post for Gulfstream on Saturday, as well as the late pick 5 sequence, which I believe is all stakes. We will try to do one for Oaklawn, time permitting. If you guys are really up for it, really want us to take a look and do Oaklawn, we will. Just let me know. So plenty of content on the way, and it's really getting exciting. I think this is going to be a really fun weekend for Oaks preps as well as Derby preps. So stay tuned right here for more content about that. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.